Bula Vinaka boxing fans, I'm really excited to do this video. I've been waiting to do this one and thinking about how can I talk about this individual, this heavyweight, and really get my point across in terms of his achievements, how he's viewed in the public view, and also whether or not he's elite or regarded as an elite heavyweight in today's modern era. The man I'm talking about is none other than Anthony Joshua, AJ. Anthony Joshua, for me, is and would have to be the most scrutinized heavyweight in the modern era. It is fair to say that there is no other heavyweight right now, bar Tyson Fury maybe, that has more eyes on him, on what he wears, what he says, what he eats, what he listens to, for goodness sake, and what's next? Who's he going to fight next? Should he fight this person? Should he fight that person? And I wonder why that is. Is it because Joshua brings so many eyes to boxing, so many bums to seats, with all the backing that he's had in the UK, the Olympic gold medalist in 2012, two-time former unified champion. Some of the achievements that Joshua has achieved is absolutely incredible. For me, when I think about Joshua, out of the top three heavyweights right now, and I would rank them in this order with Fury, Usyk, Joshua as the top three right now, and that's the order I'd have them at. Fury at the top, purely because of his body of work at heavyweight, being at heavyweight longer, being undefeated at heavyweight longer, and fought more heavyweights and fought more elite heavyweights. Then obviously Alexander Usyk, and then Anthony Joshua. Out of the three, Joshua has the best resume by far than Usyk and Tyson Fury. He has fought absolutely everyone. He has fought Andy Ruiz Jr., Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Usyk, Dylan White, Otto Wallin, Robert Helenius, Dominic Brazil, Carlos Takam. He's fought everyone, and he's likely going to fight the winner between Dubois and Hrgovic. So he's got by far the best resume in heavyweight boxing. The other thing that I would give to Joshua is I believe, and I've always believed this, that Anthony Joshua is the most gifted, natural athlete, heavyweight boxer in the modern era. You think about the heavyweights of today, right? They are generally quite slow or lanky. Deontay Wilder is not athletic at all. He is quite lanky. He's a bit uncoordinated. He looks really weird when he tries to use his feet. He's got, that quick 1-2, and he closes the distance fast, but he looks very uncoordinated. Anthony Joshua, when he throws his punches and he puts his punches together, the combinations and speed are just phenomenal, especially when he throws that right hand. He throws that right hand left hook almost in one action, boom, boom, and his right hand flicks out and flicks back like a sling. It is so fast, hard, and you've seen him take out many opponents with that right hand. That comes that speed and power. Destroyed Helenius, destroyed Ngannou. The first knockdown, you saw that speed. It was the speed that got Ngannou off, and it came with so much speed. It barely touched Ngannou, but that speed basically made Ngannou kiss the canvas, really. And that's the same type of punch that he landed on Charles Martin, who at the time, Charles Martin had never been dropped. And everyone said, oh, well, Charles Martin is, was crap, was overrated. People, Charles Martin just gave Jared Anderson his toughest fight. years later. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a huge Jared Anderson fan. I think he's going to be a heavyweight of the future, potential heavyweight champion. Jared Anderson was knocking everyone out, stopping them. He was basically looking so good. Even, praised by Tyson Fury, until he met Charles Martin. Charles Martin was hurting him and landing those shots all day. So, and Anderson couldn't get Charles Martin out of there. He couldn't knock out Charles Martin. But Anthony Joshua knocks out a younger, more prime champion Charles Martin. Years ago, back in, 2016, 2017? So, and that was with that famous right hand. So, the question for me is, where would you rank Anthony Joshua right now in the heavyweight division? Do you have him in the top 3 like I do? Do you have him as number 1, number 2, number 3? BoxRec has him at number 2. I believe it's Usyk, Joshua, and then Fury, or was it Joshua then Parker? Now those rankings are absolutely absurd. How can you have Tyson Fury's undefeated 2-time world heavyweight champion, former unified heavyweight champion that is, and former 2-time Ring Magazine champion at like number 3 or number 4? It's incredible. But BoxRec does go on a ranking system. You get points as you win. So if you haven't been fighting and not active, you're not winning. So where would you have Joshua? And then the second thing is, of all the fighters that Joshua has fought, how many elite fighters or champions has Joshua actually fought? So if you go back and have a look at his resume, whilst he fought really top contenders, I would say the 2 people that he fought that I would consider as elite were Vladimir Klitschko and Alexander Usyk. Now, he beat Klitschko, but he beat Klitschko, who had been out of the ring for 18 months, who wasn't a champion, and there were still question marks on whether he was an elite heavyweight in the top 3 at that time. Now, Fury had long gone into his spiral of depression, vacated his belts, so he was no longer in the picture. So at that point, you only had Wilder, who was quite a new champion, having beaten Berman Stavern. So if you want to give Klitschko the status of being elite, all good. Joshua beat Klitschko. He had to come off the canvas to do it, but he still beat Klitschko. The other one that he fought, who I believe was absolutely elite, was Alexander Usyk. Over 24 rounds, he got absolutely schooled in the first fight, and then had a better fight in the second one. Made a better account of himself. However, I think after rounds 9, he just ran out of steam. And Usyk took rounds 9, 10, 11, 12 to make the fight an unconvincing win, albeit it was still regarded as or judged as a split decision win for Alexander Usyk. So if you think about, elite heavyweights, he's only fought 2, in my opinion. 1 lost the other. 1 when he was quite young champion himself, and lost 1 when he was an existing 2-time champion, and then on the return, lost again. So for me, Joshua still has a bit of work to do to prove that he remains as an elite heavyweight. Because if you think based on his resume, is only the one elite fighter that he's actually beat where there could be question marks. Whereas an Alexander Usyk has beaten him twice and also beaten every single cruiserweight. 3 of them probably elite in his division. Joshua doesn't have that luxury because he's always been at heavyweight. So you can only judge a fighter on who they have fought. And for me, there's still some question marks around Joshua. But in terms of resume, in terms of natural ability, athleticism, punching power. Joshua ticks all the boxes. He absolutely ticks all the boxes. And one thing I really love about Joshua is that he is actually a very respectful young man who is always respectful to his fighters, to his contenders, his rivals. He is a family man. He has a faith in God. We don't know which God he worships though, because he's always referencing God, but he doesn't like to say which God. I'm always a little bit skeptical on that, I feel if you're going to give praise to a God, you should name that God, whether it's the Christian God or the Muslim God, whoever God you worship, because there's so many gods out there. If you're a Hindu, give praise to your Hindu God, etc. So I'm always a bit, people say, I think I give thanks to God. Which God are you talking about? But that's a completely other topic. I could go on and on that as well. But I'd have to say that Joshua, for me, an incredible human being. And to many people who'd be surprised, you can be a Fury fan and still actually like Joshua people. I'm a big Fury fan, but I'm not one of those fan girls that, I love, really, really love Fury, I think he's incredible, but I absolutely hate Joshua, he's a dosser. No, I think Joshua's an absolutely incredible fighter, and I'd love to meet him one day. I actually think my values aligns more to Joshua, culturally, what he's been through, his background, and I think, I could just see myself having just incredible conversations with him about boxing history. I think Tyson Fury will be the fun friend, the fun person that you go and have a drink with, that will be taking the piss out of you, as well as you trying to, compete with him on that level, and it would be fun. Joshua would be really respectful and have a really good engaging conversation with him. So, Joshua for me, incredible champion. For me, I would rate him as an elite heavyweight right now, but he still needs to maintain that and prove that he is there and he belongs there. And I think he will achieve that. I believe Joshua will become a 3-time heavyweight world champion. I believe he beats the winner of Hrgović and Dubois. As much as I rate Hrgović, I think he's a good fighter. I think there were signs of his fight against Sang, and even his fight against Dempsey McKean, where he gasses and slows down. Now, Joshua has got great stamina for a big guy. He actually has pretty good stamina. And he's shown that with Usyk. Shown that with Wallin as well. And with his recent form, I could see him stopping Hrgović late. The reason why I keep saying Hrgović is because I don't believe Dubois has a prayer in hell or heaven in beating Hrgović. I don't know if it's me or if the boxing world has gone crazy, why people think that Dubois actually got a chance against Hrgović. Yeah, he's got a puncher's chance, but this guy has literally quit twice, people. He's quit twice. He went down on a jab to Usyk and he refused to get up after he had knocked him down with a controversial body shot. Do you not think that it would inspire him to try and just go for the kitchen sink? Now, if he had gone for the kitchen sink and got caught with a punch like Tony Bellew did and couldn't get up because he was knocked out, fair play. You went out on your shield, mate. But he had a lot of fight still left in him. And he basically gave up. Even his own coach said he gave up. And he did that against Joe Joyce as well. So I just think that Hrgović is going to stop him. And that will mean Joshua gets to fight Hrgović in September at Wembley, potentially for the IBF title, because I reckon it'll get vacated after Fury Usyk on May 18th. And I believe Joshua becomes a 3-time heavyweight world champion and then goes into potentially a massive fight against Tyson Fury in March, which there are some potential plans around that. Turki Al-Sheikh has said that he'd like to see Joshua and Fury in March 2025, regardless of what happens between him and Usyk in the next 2 fights. Imagine that. Imagine Joshua and Fury March 2025, Wembley Stadium. They do it in the UK for either unified heavyweight championship, because Josh has got a belt. Fury might still have the WBC if he's still champion then, or they could do another undisputed if Fury's still got all the belts. Joshua's got the IBF and he's beaten Usyk successfully twice. Imagine that. Still a long way away, but let me know your thoughts. Where do you see Joshua? Do you agree with me that Joshua's the most scrutinized heavyweight right now? Do you believe he's probably the most gifted, talented, naturally talented heavyweight, has the best resume, but has fought, has not beaten more elite champions like Usyk and Fury? And in terms of performance and where he is, he would be ranked below. But in terms of natural ability and resume, he would be at the top. Let me know your thoughts. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, you're watching Seru Bale's boxing and pro wrestling YouTube channel. Vinaka.